There are still serious concerns in regards to respecting First Nations rights when they access the province's public services. This is one of the conclusions of Quebec's ombudsperson. Marc-André Dowd presented a situation report regarding the implementation of the recommendations of the Viens Commission that concluded that Indigenous people are victims of systemic racism. Dowd says the exceptions in the Charter of French Language to protect linguistic rights of First Nations people have some blind spots. He gives the example of First Nations midwives who aren't allowed to provide support when someone is transferred to a hospital outside of the community. Another example:
we received information that within certain regions that Aboriginal youth were not allowed to speak their mother tongue. So when they were in their readaptation setting, unfortunately, they were told to speak the current language. So either in the sector that's English or in the sector that's French.
Good morning, bonjour.
The Viens Commission's final report was tabled in 2019. It had 142 calls for action. In 2023, the ombudsperson published a follow-up report. The situation report published today is based on information provided by the provincial government and exchanges with an advisory circle of First Nations and Inuit members. 4 recommendations have been issued, like the need to develop a government strategy to ensure planning and funding of initiatives that ensures cultural safety.
The McGill's Health Center that has a birthing center that's adapted to receive Indigenous families. These initiatives are very fragmented, so it's dependent on who the persons are in place.
The First Nations of Quebec-Labrador Health and Social Services Commission reacted. It says ensuring cultural safety and addressing systemic discrimination remain central issues in our society, as do the recognition and promotion of Indigenous languages. In a written statement, the Office of the Minister responsible for Indigenous Relations, Yann Lafrenière, writes, "It is normal to take a step back to assess what worked and what didn't. We will do it as usual in collaboration with First Nations and Inuits." The ombudsperson says he will make sure his recommendations are implemented by the provincial government. Another report on the 13 recommendations made for youth protection will be published in the next months.